Hi guys, spend a day with me while I tell you or reflect on my teaching practice 2024. Before we jump right into it, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and also leave a comment down below. Your interaction is much appreciated. So the first point that we're going to discuss, it is my overall view or experience of teaching prac. As much as it teaches you or prepares you for the world of work, it also puts you out there in terms of learners, where you're going to meet learners that are very learned, that behave well, and those that are going to be the quite opposite on how do you maneuver in those situations, right? And how do you work around learners that misbehave up until you have learners that are actually looking forward to your lessons, rather than it being, we know it's going to be a free period because Miss New or So New is coming. So yeah, it was good and bad at the same time. And also the thing of mentors, as much as someone may be a good teacher, they may not be a good mentor to you, because number one, maybe they lack experience in terms of teaching you what is to be done. Like for instance, one of my mentors for my other module, this is what he would do. His class is very disruptive. Number one, I was never formally introduced to the class. I introduced myself. I did everything myself. You know that thing, you're somewhat the same age as them. Then when they see you coming in, they're like, who is this person? And no, we're not going to listen to you. So I had that for a few weeks. Then I asked him to get involved. He got involved, and it was good for a couple of days. And then afterwards, back to square one. And at the same time, I cannot just keep on calling him every time that I have an issue with one of the learners or their behavior. My biggest issue with the learners was noise and not participating in class activities, also not writing their homeworks. They'll be like, they come up with lame excuses like, oh man, I forgot my book at a friend's place. I lost my book. My exercise is full of activities. My mother hasn't bought me one. I didn't have a pen, so I decided not to write. What else? They forgot about the work. And they think that you were born yesterday. Like, come on, guys. I was also a learner. And then the second one is fears. When I say fears, it's somewhat what I've already said. Learner behavior, how my relationship with my mentors are going to be, whether they're going to be good or bad. Is the teaching and learning environment safe for me as someone who comes from a different perspective or whatever, in terms of crime, violence and whatever. Yeah. The third one was whether the learners are going to be willing to listen to you, willing to give you a chance in terms of teaching them. They are not going to be like, we've been through this. We've done this, we've done that, sissy, get out, type of thing, My achievements is, number one, having a good mentor and mentee relationship. The second one, it is having learner and teacher relationships that are good and respectful. Building up methods of disciplining learners that actually work, even though sometimes they may not work. But I've learned that to reassure myself and be in a space where I can actually reprimand learners without using corporal punishment, and having a good relationship in terms of me and the learners where they would have to, when I say I don't like so and so, then they change. When they say me, we don't like 1, 2, 3, and 4, I also reflect and change. The third one was to give me that comfort, in terms of teaching and my majors, because wow, it's a lot of work. The third one, it is learner behavior. That one, shame. It grinds my because there are learners that are going to listen to you. There are those that are going to not today, and the unfortunate part is some are willing to listen to you while you teach because they are like excited. She's so young, she's so full of life, and she's a teacher at her age, while I'm at the same age as her, but I'm still in high school. That type of thing. Some of them look to you as an inspiration, which is a good thing. Others a threat. That is a story for another day. Learner behavior, how to deal with learners, how to create meaningful relationships that are professional with learners, taking your headspace, or like do not be like me to ube me, but me ani afrostanang type of thing. That utichere, but at the same time you take your mind to their level. You if it's a joke, we laugh at it. If it's something that is not a joke, or it sounds like a joke but deep down it's throwing shade, we fix that together. But it is not always that you're going to have those type of learners. Sometimes you're going to deal with learners that are pushing those buttons where your tears are like, I am coming out. In those situations, what I would advise you to do is to walk outside, go and collect yourself. Do not give them the satisfaction of crying in front of them. Don't do that. Do not do that. Then coming back, those learners that are misbehaving or disrupting the class, the following day or the same day, you ask for them, you call their parents. Then if that you call their parents, then after involving the parents, you tell the parents that this is what I'm experiencing because of Mwana how is doing 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. The other thing is, do not reprimand them as a collective. No, take one by one, because what I've realized is that some of them, they have they have the confidence to speak while they are with their friends, but when you call them out, or Kutrano, can we go outside? I want to talk to you about something before class. Then you tell them that the no, what is your actual problem with me? Because I want to know, so that I fix where I need to fix, or if it's something more than that, we will deal with it in the staff room. Call them one by one, because if you call them as a collective, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The fifth point on my list, it is teacher behavior. Remember, when you're a student teacher there, so you should uphold professionalism at all times. Even though sometimes maybe your mentor teacher does 1, 2, 3, and 4, you do not do that. When you're there to gain experience, after gaining experience, you take only the good, you leave out the bad. Those behaviors where your mentor teacher prepares for class 5 minutes before class, you don't do that. When you prepare day before, you talk to your mentor. This is what I want to teach the learners. This is the activity that I've drafted. This is the memorandum. I'll evaluate the learners like this and so. Don't be your mentor. Your mentor has experience. They've done this 16 times probably, or 100 times. When you prepare day before, so that we avoid embarrassments, because obviously we are not knowers of everything. And some of us are still trying to remember or recall what Miss so and so in 2015 taught us about a certain chapter or a certain concept or topic. Yeah. So when you prepare day before, you do everything day before, you only take out the good. You ask questions. Some you have to discuss with your mentor in terms of questions that learners might pose. Remember, they are not empty vessels. They know what they're learning and they've been doing it. So to go in there thinking that these people, they don't know anything, I can share them here and there. No. You are going to embarrass yourself. Take them as though they are people that are at your level. When people are at your level, mean that you prepare for questions that they might pose that you have not thought about. So that when you get to class, when a certain learner asks you a certain question, you can be able to answer it without embarrassing yourself or saying, no, I'll ask so and so. It is good to ask or refer to someone else, but it is not something that you're supposed to do each and every time a learner asks you a question. You buy a professional file, which is an A4 file with sleeves. You cover that file. It has to have the front page, a profile. A profile, which is the name of the school that you got accepted in, your name, your student number, your majors, and so on. Then the other one, it is number one, look for a school year before. You do not look for a school the year that you're going to be doing your teaching prac. This prepares you for the following year so that you do not struggle like I did, because we're traveling around Blom. I think we went to ±5 schools before we actually got to this one that we got to teach at and got accepted at. So there's a lot of students. There are a lot of students, and there's a few schools that actually accept student teachers, right? And sometimes they accept a certain number of student teachers. You should also look for a reliable and cheap transportation. It is not a must to use a cab. It is not a must to use a cab. You can use a taxi that is reliable. So if you're from Blom, I would actually recommend Makosi taxis. They're very reliable. You must have scarfed in money, or you can cook at home. Then that meal you ate for dinner, that is the one that you're going to be eating the following day. When it comes to the evaluation and everything, by your mentor or your UFS or whichever university you're from, prepare your lesson plans day before or weeks before the evaluation. Do your due diligence when preparing that file, because they do go over it and open it up and ask you this and this and that. And also, always have a teaching aid. Some of the reasons why we lose marks when we are being evaluated by our mentors or lecturers is because half the time we don't have teaching aids. And if your school is underprivileged, mean that they do not have a lot of technology or the latest technology or gadgets in terms of the teaching space, use cardboards to cut out maybe some things that you're going to use to paste on the board while you're explaining to learners. And when they have to explain to other learners, you give them those cue cards or card boxes to paste on the board that this is that. You always have to be professional at all times. Your learner and teacher relationship should be professional. It should not be anything but that. Your mentor and mentee relationship should be professional, unless you have found a soulmate there. But in the school premises, it always has to be professional at all times. You have to be strict with the learners, because the moment you lose that strictness and they see this one is very nice, oh shame, sorry my darling, you're not going to get that back. So from the first day you're there, lay out ground rules. This is what I will tolerate. This is what I'm not going to tolerate. Whether you're a learner or what, I do not tolerate that. And this is how we communicate. You raise your hand, you get a chance to speak, you speak. When someone else is speaking, we give them an opportunity to speak without interrupting them. Ne? If you have, let's say you're in disagreement with someone, or someone has said something that you're just in disagreement with, you raise your hand. You do not just howl. Has it have anymore? The second one, it is the learners are going to test your patience. That one is an obvious. They are going to test your patience. They are going to test how your temper is. The best thing to do, as I've already said, it is to regulate your emotions, to calm down, because in that moment, that reaction they're currently getting out of you, that is what they're looking for. Yeah, it is to calm down, be calm and collected. Yeah. Tell them, I don't like 1, 2, 3, and 4. How great? Go to your mentor. Tell him everything.
Hi
Him or
guys,
her.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Currently my roommate is studying, which is why I'm whispering.